Life Bible Church. Bigger, stronger, and bolder.
So God said, you mean you are not afraid? That is the way He talks to your enemies. That is why some people, when they dream, they start having nightmares. They go begin see person, they pursue them with cutlass. In verse 9, the Bible says God was angry. He vexed. Why? Because you are touching a faithful man. God was angry. In Psalm 7 verse 11, the Bible says God is angry with the wicked every day. Go to Psalm 2 verse 12. It says you better kiss the son, S-O-N. Kiss the son. If not, you go very soon. Look up. Kiss him quickly. If not, those who are tempting you, troubling your life, let them get ready. Usually Saturday into Sunday, I know they sleep much. I normally have discussions with God. He said I should tell you, anybody troubling your life, He, God, will never give them rest. When they dream, they will dream of you. Do you know somebody came to me one day? As a pastor, I've seen many things. So, a lady came to me and said, Baba, help me. I said, me help you. How? What happened? He said, for about a month now, whenever I dream, there is this particular person. I always dream that the person is caning me. So I say, wait till you do. He said, that not be they cane me. Pray for me. I said, I lie. Wait till you do. You want to use my prayer to cover up? He go still cane you. That's what I told her. I said, he go cane you. Tell me waiting you do. Finally, she said, sir, I'm not going to lie for you. The things when I don't talk with my mouth about that woman, they are very damaging. I said, no wonder they cane you. I support her, make it cane you. He said, Papa, make it cane me for this one day. I said, yes. Your mouth too wide. I said, the only way we will stop her from caning you, you go call her. Now to go come. Yes, sir. You don't know me. I'm very quiet, but she went to bring the woman. So I said, oh yeah, tell the woman what you have been doing. Tell her. Her mouth they shake. I said, okay, I'll go help you tell her. So I started talking. The woman was crying. So she looked at this lady and said, what did I do to you? So she knelt down and started begging her. So I said, my daughter, forgive her. No cane her again. You will cane them until they will submit to you. Anyone troubling your life, I permit you. Cane them, cane them, cane them. Cane them. They will have no rest. Cane them anywhere they hide. Cane them. Cane them. Cane them. Cane them. Flog them. Flog them. Cane them. As I make you cane them, you have my permission. Cane them. As I make you cane them, cane up. When they close their eyes, now they're going to see. When they see you, you will be caning them. Every demonstration you did now, it will happen in their dream. They will dream and you will be caning them. They will not have anywhere to hide. Sit down. In verse 10, Miriam became leprous. Now the vexation that they opened their mouth to speak against a faithful man. There are two reasons why Miriam got leprosy. Number one, she was the one that started everything. The reason Aaron did not get the leprosy was because he was wearing the high priest garment. When God finally wanted to kill him, he undressed him first. He naked down. He took the garment from him. Then he killed him. But Miriam was the first to get the leprosy. Who is the Miriam in your life that is stirring up all this problem? Stirring up problem. They say Pikin when not want a mama to sleep. You know go sleep now. I met a woman in New Jersey, US of A, New Jersey, very close to New York. Those of you who know about America. There is the state of New Jersey, but there is the New Jersey city. I met her. I was preaching in a church. Because of manner, I didn't tell the story fully. I was preaching in a church. I finished preaching. I was in the pastor's office. The pastor brought this woman. And the pastor said to me, this woman is faithful. A Nigerian woman. The pastor is also a Nigerian. He said, this woman is faithful. He said, sir, sometimes before the problem comes, she has already solved the problem. He said, she makes ministry easy for me. He said, but for 5 years, she has had 5 miscarriages.
What if Life Bible Church? Bigger, stronger, and bolder.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Edi.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love, it is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make you a man, but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
I am SP Dafe Bright and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before. Not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we'll go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, It is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason, your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack, because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. Your SIM PIN is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM PIN. If you cannot enter your SIM PIN, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM PIN. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save 9. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to come. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
As the world mark World Ozone Depletion Day, many are asking, is the federal government indeed doing anything as it concerns dealing with the problem that's already facing us as a people? With the recent report that about 4 states in Nigeria are worst hit with that very depletion of the ozone layer, it is about time the federal government does the needful, especially as to protect lives of all Nigerians. And with that in mind, I want to welcome you to another lovely time on TV. And we're talking about Atlantic TV is Viewpoint. My name is Mike Egobadio.
And I am Mercy Erebo. Welcome to Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. And you know how we do it right here on Viewpoint. We start with the dailies, then to the news, to the dialogue, and of course the trending. And you know how we do it on trending. And today I have loads and loads of gist for you today. You don't want to miss any of the highlights today. So you have to stay tuned on Atlantic Media and TV. And of course, you can engage with us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV. Well, we need to go on this quick break, and when we return, it will be the dailies.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Well, yes, a very wet Friday. It looks as if it's raining across the country. The South seems to be having its hardest share of rain, especially around this period. But anyway, on a lovely wet morning, we have 5 papers for review today. And we have the Punch, the Vanguard, These Day, Nation, and the Guardian. And you always know I love starting with the Punch. And the Punch newspaper, many uncertainty, but anyway, a major one seems to be right there. Emergency rule, uncertainty in Rivers as Fubara delays return. And and everybody was cheering to see if they'll see his face at the government house, but that did not happen yesterday. Governor in Abuja may resume today. That's according to his aide. Assembly members resume Wike denies plot to impose appointees on governor. Well, anyway, you do know the State House of Assembly told Mr. Governor to send the list of commissioner nominees just yesterday. But anyway, I'll tell you to read more of that story on page 2. Manufacturing, let's see if we take some other leading story at the top mast, if we have any. Okay, yes, we do. Manufacturing import bill widens to 14 trillion naira trade deficit. And you can really get more of that story on page 9 of the Punch. And well, it looks as if we have more of an advertorial, and it's all about Osun PDP asks federal government court CJ to probe suspicious letter on Osun local government funds case. And like I said, we really want to talk about such issues, knowing we don't want to sound prejudiced, and it's already in the court of law. Well, it looks as if the Osun state government and the PDP seems to be addressing that issue of the local government funds. But I'll just implore you to get more of that story on page 2, and you'll be reading yourself all of that. But anyway, that's the much you can take from the Punch.
Yeah, let's see what the Nation has for us this morning. The lead story here says, why Fubara delayed return? Wow, that's on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Let's see what we have at the top mass. Tinubu to meet Aisha Buhari during Kaduna visit. That's on page 41. UBA post a 335 billion naira profit, 1.6 trillion naira gross earnings in the first quarter. That's on page 8 of the paper. Let's see what we still have at the top mass. Bank of Industry granted adaptation funds accreditation, and the rider says bank to finance climate issues. That's on page 3 of the paper. Nigerian-US seal healthcare partnership, and the rider says Pate hails agreement. Well, that's on page 3 of the paper. Okay, the picture of the day is that of a welcome note to the president in regards to his visit to Kaduna for the renovation and commissioning of the mosques. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on The Nation. Let's see what this day has for us. The major story here reads, Governor Umba, Enugu will use coal to generate 1,000 megawatts of electricity. And the rider says vows not to treat mineral resource as a stranded asset. Discloses crime rate in Enugu reduced by over 80%. Says Enugu Air to take delivery of 6 planes before year end. NBCC president insists Enugu on the move. Witnessing infrastructure expansion. British Deputy High Commissioner, UK accounts for 65% of Nigerians' FDI. Well, you can read more of that story on page 9 of this day newspaper. Zenith Bank's gross earnings hit 2.5 trillion naira in the first half of 2025, declares 1.25 naira interim dividend. Well, you can read more of that story on page 9 of the paper. Right at the top mass, Osun PDP asks a Federal High Court Chief Justice to probe suspicious letters in local government funds case, and the rider says one of the letters may have been backdated. Well, you can read more of that story on page 9 of the paper. Right at the side, okay, right at the bottom mass, that's also the picture of the day. Come and invest in Enugu. We are open for business. Who is saying this? This is coming from Governor Peter Umba while he's trying to promote Enugu as an investment destination during the NBCC's Meet the Governor series yesterday in Lagos. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on this day. Let's see what the Guardian has for us. The major story reads, exhausted doctors, long wait times, test public hospitals' care capacity. That's on page 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's see what we have at the top mass. Investors avoid places where politicians control judiciary, says Jonathan. Well, that's on page 3 of the paper. Bank of Industry secures adaptation funds mandates to drive Nigerians' climate action. That's on page 3. NAS withdraws contract circulars as a 23.9 trillion naira capital budget rolls into 2026. Well, that's on page 28 of the paper. Right at the side mass, group raises alarm over massive data breach in Nigeria. That's on page 7. Federal government unveils innovative loan scheme for retirees. Well, that's on page 29 of the paper. At the bottom mass, suspends the solution as Fubara fails to show up after emergency rule ends. Well, that's on page 6 of the paper. UBA delivers 335 billion naira PAT, 1.6 trillion naira gross earnings. Well, that business story is on page 19 of the paper. Osun PDP wants suspicious letters on local government funds case probed. That's on page 6 of the paper. Well, the picture of the day is that of the lead story that says exhausted doctors, long wait times, test public hospitals care capacity. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on The Guardian. Up next is The Vanguard.
Yes, The Vanguard will be the next paper for us to truly look at, as we'll try to conclude on dailies this lovely Friday morning. And on The Vanguard this morning, the leading story reads, Assembly resumes a sitting as Fubara fails to show up. And we're talking about the issue of River State. The House urges Fubara to forward Commissioner's list appropriation bill, asks Governor to probe IBA's expenditure. There's also one making the rounds, and a whole lot. A massive crowd leave in disappointment after waiting for 12 hours. I've spoken to Fubara. He assured me he will resume. I'm not the one saying that, but Yuson Wike seems to be giving us that lead. IBA's quit needs support for Fubara. Says Tinubu mandate achieved, cautions against crippling state again. And Tinubu playing God in rivers. I did not say so, but ADC seemed to be screaming out that loud. I think it will be others speak. But I'll tell you, rather than talk, read more of it on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Let's see if we take some other leading stories just at the topmost side of the Vanguard. A lot seems to be there. Government ends passport production at multiple centers after 62 years. Woo! There's a screamer on page 8. UBA delivers 355 billion BAT, that's profit after tax, as gross earning up by 17% to 1.608 trillion naira. Well, anyway, don't thrill yourself on that alone. Just read more of that copy, or rather, read more of that story on page 19. Plateau targets a Middle East halal market to boost economy, says Mufwang, as NGE pays courtesy visit to governor. And we're talking about the Nigerian Governors Forum. Flood alert, federal government raises alarm as River Niger and Benue reach peak level. Wow. You can get more of that story on page 9. Marketers want us to pump, or rather increase pump price by 75 naira. And Dangote is saying that, but I would really love to get Mercy's view as it concerns that, whether she has gone to the pump anytime soon. But anyway, just get more of that story on page 19. Let's see if we take some other major stories, the side mass. Osun local government crisis, probe judiciary irregularities, PDP tells CJ. But I will tell you to read more of that story on page 10. Awujele, stool Fesugbawa, ruling house in leadership face-off, but face more of the issues on page 10. But the picture of the day seems to be multiple, but I'll take that one of Enugu open for business. And you can see the smiling governor, Mba, as he greatly tried to increase the internally generated revenue of Enugu State with more foreign businesses making their come right there in Enugu State. But anyway, that's the much we can take from the dailies. And well, you do know, we took about 5 dailies or papers. We'll tell you to always go grab a copy of any day of them and read up and get more abreast with what seems to be happening. But what's happening now, let's see if we just talk some few more, or rather look at some major headline on the dailies this morning. And one we are really concerned about is the issue that we talked about yesterday on dialogue, and that is Simi Fubara coming back after the end of emergency rule that was pushed through by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. If you could still remember, the emergency rule started on March the 18th and only ended the day before yesterday, after that midday broadcast from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But as much as many persons were waiting to see a glimpse of the man of the moment yesterday, the funny thing is that he never showed up. So the question remains, where is Rivers State's governor? I will call him our governor. Where is he? And what seems to be happening? But Mercy, I know you were not among those that waited yesterday, because we were right here doing trending and a whole lot of things getting prepared. But was it more like a disappointment for many of them?
I was there waiting for him. You got that wrong. I was there waiting to see him. At least you just mentioned he was supposed to be the man of the moment.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to see him, suspense in the air and everything. But he didn't show up, and we are still concerned why he's not showing up yet. But Wike said he reached out to him and he said he would resume soon. Well, let's keep waiting.
Well, anyway, it looks as if Wike and Fubara has now been close friends because he's the one giving us updates on where Fubara is. But Governor Simi Fubara will just wish you nothing but the best. And let's resumption of real democratic process take its place right there. But anyway, we're still right here, still talking about some major day on the headlines on the dailies. And one that we drag Mercy into the discussion is the issue of Dangote screaming they want to make an increase pump price by 75 naira. So that means they want us to be paying 1,000 naira. And he's not the one saying it, but he's saying the marketer seems to be pushing for that to happen. Well,
you know, I still talked about this yesterday, and I said, everybody, they are only fighting for their pockets. And I said, I feel with everything that Dangote has really been doing, I feel he actually means well for Nigeria. But the people behind, the middlemen and all of that, the marketers, seem to be fighting this, because I feel if the country is good, it's supposed to be good for everybody. I don't know why some persons just want it to be better for them and the others are suffering. So if Dangote is doing everything possible to ensure that the fuel price is stable to some extent, I don't see why people should be fighting it for increments of the fuel price. I don't know if the increments will just add to their own pockets, but everybody will just still suffer it at the end of the day. But this is Nigeria.
Well, anyway, I will just tell Dangote to go on. Mercy has your back. Don't shake him. She will really help you out. But anyway, that's the much we can say. I'll take right here on the dailies. We'll go on a break now, and when we come back, a dialogue will take a center stage on the Viewpoint. And you know, it's going to be truly interesting from now to 11. So I'll implore you, stick around, sit down, and enjoy your lovely wet morning.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined, uniquely different.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh baby.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Hi everybody and welcome to Wawu Africa. This is the official launching and it's your host QJ and we are so excited to be here, guys. This is a brand new app, girl, for women, Christocentric women.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. My expectations are through the roof. We have amazing guests here today, so stay tuned.
And we're gonna be back.
Yeah, we will be back.
A movement that believes in the transformative power of women's economic empowerment. Our mission is simple, yet ambitious, to provide a safe, inclusive and supportive environment, a safe, inclusive space where women can learn, earn, collaborate and thrive, where they can showcase their skills, share their stories and sell their products and services.
Every day I create, but no one sees me. Until now. Introducing Wawu Africa. Learn. Showcase. Connect. Earn. Now, the world sees my worth and pays for it. Wawu Africa, where women rise.
Okay, so the inspiration behind Wawu Africa, it stems from women being dealt the lower hand, if I may put it that way. Because in corporate worlds, we see that men always get the better pay, they always get better roles, and if there is a woman in a good position, it is assumed that she did something to get that position. So we're trying to change that narrative where we are saying, look, women are not just meant for the kitchen. Women need to earn more as well. Women need to be heard. Women need to be seen for what they can do, for their skills, not just as some sexual object or some sexual toy, because that is one of the things that has been, or the major thing that has been tied to when you say I'm a woman. That is one thing that people see first. So we're trying to change that narrative
We want women to be out there doing big things just like our male counterparts are doing and not being dependent. We're trying to change that narrative of women are always so dependent on men. We want to be independent, not like we want to just do everything on our own, but we want to be able to stand as women in our various industries, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as an artisan, a content creator, whatever it is that you are, we want women to stand out there.
I think it's a beautiful and a fantastic phenomenal initiative that I think can metamorphose into things like skill acquisition for women, safe ways for women training, etiquette for women, empowering women. We call it a man's world. I call it a gentleman's world because the gentleman puts the woman first. Yes. And so I think this is a phenomenal idea. If everyone has a sister, mother, or a daughter, one of them, sister, mother, or daughter. So it's high time we started investing in the women and make this world a better place, a safer place for them. I'm thinking of a WOW counseling for WOW rehabilitation for drug addiction for women. I think it's something that is really huge that will begin to make. There are too many layers on what to do to make the world safe and safer for women, and so I believe that this is the beginning of the best days of this thing we just launched today, and so hoping for more.
Why did you decide to support WOW Africa? What does it mean to you as a woman?
It means everything. I am a woman first, and personally, I am a strong advocate for the girl child and for women affairs. So anything women, supporting them, lifting them, you'll find me there. So, but as per this, my media outfits, we are very proud to give them the visibility that they need to reach their targets and where they wish to go, and give them every other support that they need to reach the women that we hope to reach. Women need to learn. It is a basic skill that they must have. They must learn, they must earn, they must grow, and they must learn to collaborate. That's why we are here. I have met some amazing women here. She leads Africa. She's here too. So it is amazing when women support each other. We attain amazing heights. So we cannot overlook the importance of collaborating with other people, other women like us. It is very, very, very important.
Yeah, WOW Africa is an app that supports women. So what are your views on it?
In fact, it's a great idea because it will help women to be able to showcase their businesses. They don't need to, like online businesses now, they can have a space to put in their businesses and make, sell their products easily now for export.
My expectations are really high. I've worked with the owner, the person in charge for a while, and I know he's a very brilliant mind and he has ideas, and this is one of them which has come to fruition. So my expectations are really high. It's a platform to help women be empowered, help women earn, help women scale up, and that aligns with the value of She Leads Africa. That's why we're here partnering with them, encouraging them, and saying we're here, we're hailing you, we're behind you. We pray and hope that you scale, right, and achieve all your dreams.
WOW Africa, where women rise.
Don't stop. So it has been an amazing experience, hasn't it? Oh my gosh, we have so many expectations from WOW Africa, and it has been great vibing with you guys. It's your host QJ and Chi. Until next time, stay tuned.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined, uniquely different.
Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love. It is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make you a man. but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
Ruth Gender Foundation.
I'm Ruth Edema Collins. I hold a first degree in physics electronics, a postgraduate qualification in business administration, and a nationally certified French language tutor. Career-wise, I'm an educational facilitator. I'm the managing director at Atlantic Media and TV, and I'm also a director at Vocotech Integrated Services Nigeria Limited. I'm a wife and a mother, and I like dressing up to show up. Yeah, so that's basically me. Thank you. Root Gender Foundation was inspired from my personal experiences growing up as a young girl in a typical Nigerian environment. For me, it was being different. It made people bully me, abuse me, and harass me. I was always misunderstood and underrated. Root Gender is a foundation that is dedicated to building confidence in the Nigerian girl child through educational and inspirational programs like supporting programs that promote girl child education. We also organize physical exercises for our young girls for the overall well-being of their mental and physical states, and also for the acquisition of self-defense skills. We also sensitize girls on laws that protect them. In our constitution, a lot of girls do not know that they have rights, that there are laws that protect their interests in Nigeria. Hence, they are vulnerable, they are living in fear, which is stopping them from reaching their full potentials. So we sensitize them on the laws that protect their interests. This, like I said, is visioned towards building confidence in the Nigerian girl child. So that is just a wrap-up of what we do at Root Gender Foundation. I would say I resonate with the struggles and the challenges of the girl child, particularly the Warri girl child. I happen to grow up in the heart of Warri. I'm from an average background. My family is an average one, but I experienced a lot. Like I said, I was bullied, I was overlooked, I was harassed for being a different child, for daring to be different, and nobody was taking note and tapping into my potentials. So my interest for the girl child is I would love to be a voice for the girl child. They need people to believe in them. They need people to speak for them. I also want the Warri girl child to know that there is hope beyond the reef. I want them to see the bigger picture. I want them to know that they can compete on global platforms. They can compete on international platforms, and they can do very well. We have the likes of Ada Gold, or Maumi, and the rest of them. They are all competing very well on international platforms, and I know that you too can do that, and I want you to know that is why we are here. Root Gender Foundation is here to make you understand that you can actually be what you want to be. As part of our objectives at Root Gender Foundation, we are dedicated to promoting girl child education. Like I said, I represent the brand Warri Girl Child. I represent the brand the African Girl Child, because I have gone through the struggles from there to here. So giving 2 million to the best female participants is just a way to share them on. It's just a way to make them know that we believe in you. I believe in you. You can look up to us. We are sharing you on. It is not about the money. We believe in your potential. We want our girls to know that you are doing the right thing at the right time. You are in the right place, and this is what you should be doing. That's why we are supporting you, and we will always be here to support you. Girl-child empowerment to me is enforcing laws that protect our girl child. You know, my NGO, we've been pursuing a bill that we will see to be passed. We are asking that our girls should be allowed to carry pepper spray as weapons of self-defense. Because if you look at it, our women have nothing to protect themselves. They are just there by the grace of God. So we are pursuing laws that will protect the girl child. So empowerment, girl child empowerment to me is enforcing laws that protect the girl child, educating the girl child on time and money management, financial literacy, and equipping them with self-defense skills. Also, access to quality education. This to me is girl child empowerment and nothing more. A girl child must possess effective communication skills. They should be able to communicate effectively. A girl child should be financially literate. She should know how to manage her finances, and she should also know how to manage her time. Yes. Also, most importantly, another skill is self-awareness. It's important for our girls to know who they are, to believe in themselves. That's the vision of our NGO, building confident girls that can achieve their full potentials in Nigeria. That is our NGO's vision. So yeah, those are some of the skills I believe that the girl child should possess. She needs role models. She needs people that have led that path and have made it. Our young girls need role models. That's why we have to do better. We have to do the work. We have to bridge the gap. We have to share them on like we are doing. You can achieve your dreams. First, you have to make education your best friend. Every effort you put into learning will always be there for you to never fail you. Boys will break your heart, people will break your heart, but every effort you put towards learning anything, everything will always come through for you. So for you to achieve your dreams, look towards the right people, look towards the right direction. There are people that have achieved in that route. I will encourage you to look up to them, learn from them. That is just the way to achieve your dreams. My message to the Warri Child, like I said, I represent the brand Warri Girl Child. We are letting the world know that we are not vile, we are not roused, we are educated, we compete intellectually, we have good things ahead of us. We can do it on the global platform, we can do it on the national platform, and we are everything there is to be a woman. I would encourage you, Warri Girl Child, make education your best friend. Make education your best friend. Learn new things. Learn new languages. Okay? And the sky will be your starting point. We are always here to share you up. Don't forget that my name is Ruth Edema Collins from Root Gender Foundation, and from all of us wishing you the best, we say keep watching Atlantic TV.
Ruth Gender Foundation. When the lights go out, Who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Ajah, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love. It is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make you a man, but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined, uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
I am SP Dafe Bright and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before. Not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, it is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack, because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. Your SIM PIN is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM PIN. If you cannot enter your SIM PIN, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM PIN. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save 9. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to call. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
on Atlantic TV. My name is Mike Egobadia. Here are our top stories. The federal government centralized passport production after 62 years of multiple centers. Olu of Warri visits Nigerian Defense Academy, urges cadets on character and service. Sheyi Tinubu can even challenge his father for presidency, says Bawa. And Mayumi Idris appointed Nigerians OPEC national representative. And on the foreign scene, Trump blasts Putin. He's really let me down over Ukraine. And on sport, Jose Mourinho returns home as Benfica appoints him new coach. Now to the news in full. For the first time since 1963, the federal government has ended passport production at multiple centers, moving to a single centralized system. The Interior Minister, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, announced this during an inspection of the new centralized passport personalization center at the NIS headquarters in Abuja. Tunji-Ojo described the development as a game changer, promising Nigerians a faster turnaround time from 2 weeks to as little as 1 week. He explained that the centralized system aligns with global standards and President Tinubu's reform agenda, boosting the credibility of Nigerian travel documents. The minister emphasized that automation and optimization will not only improve service delivery, but also restore confidence in the passport issuance process. This milestone, he said, signals the beginning of a total passport system reform in Nigeria after 62 years of decentralized production. Now, with the new centralized passport production, the government says Nigerians can now expect faster, more secure, and more reliable passport service. According to the minister, the reform will improve efficiency, enhance integrity, and reduce processing time. Old machines could only produce 300 passports daily, but the new system can deliver up to 5,000 passports in just 4 to 5 hours. The Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, rolled out full military honors on Wednesday as they hosted His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, the Olu of Warri, in a historic and colorful visit. His Majesty commended the cadets for their dedication, urging them to be worthy ambassadors of their families. The Academy and Nigerian Armed Forces, the monarch, stressed that character and value remain the bedrock of national security, echoing themes from his earlier lecture at the HESKI BU 2005. The visit underscored the synergy between Nigerian traditional institutions and military authority, highlighting their shared role in fostering unity and strengthening the nation's security architecture. The Olu of Warri engagement at the NDA reaffirmed the growing bond between cultural heritage and military tradition, with a clear message: service without character is incomplete. The monarch, fresh from delivering a keynote lecture at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, was received with ceremonial salute by the Academy Commandant before addressing cadets on discipline, character, and service to the nation. The Olu of Warri, His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, has stressed that Nigerians' fight against insecurity must go beyond military action to include strengthening family values. In his lecture titled Strengthening Family Values at the Force for National Security, the Role of Traditional Institution, the Olu of Warri described moral integrity as a force multiplier for peace and progress. He said restoring societal value was critical to nation cohesion and resilience, adding that security challenges require both tactical responses and a moral reawakening. The monarch commended the AFCSC for integrating diverse perspectives into its training and urged officers to embrace a value-driven approach in their careers. After the lecture, His Majesty was received by the Commandant of the Nigerian Defense Academy, where he briefly addressed cadets, charging them to uphold discipline, family pride, and the Academy's honor as they advance in service. The Olu of Warri concluded by calling for unity, integrity, and collaboration as pillars of a secure and prosperous Nigeria. The special advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on policy communication, Daniel Bala, says Sheyi Tinubu is qualified to contest for any office in Nigeria, from Lagos State Governor to even the presidency against his father. Bala highlighted Sheyi's role in bringing youths, including those from opposition movement, into government, stressing that he does not discriminate politically. He recalled moments when himself criticized Tinubu administration without affecting his relationship with Sheyi, describing him as matured from many children of past leaders with no scandals or controversy linked to his name. He ordered that Nigerians should judge Sheyi by their personal encounter with him, not by inherited perception about his father's politics. Bala remarks had stirred fresh debate over Sheyi's Tinubu's potential political future and whether the president's son could one day step into the nation's top office. Speaking on the Clarity Zone podcast, Bala dismissed claims that Sheyi's rising political profile is due only to his father's influence and described the president's son as humble bridge builder among Nigerian youth with reputation for helping young people across party lines. Rivers State has officially returned to democratic governance as sole administrator, Rear Admiral Ibas, retired on Thursday, handed power to Governor Simi Fubara. Ibas, who was appointed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in March to stabilize the state amid political turmoil, highlighted achievements such as conduct of local government elections, reconstitution of statutory boards, and the passage of the state budget by the National Assembly. In his address, the retired naval chief warned that power without restraint can cripple institutions, and rivalry without dialogue endangers democracy. He called on Rivers people to put progress over division and pledge his continued service to Nigeria even after office. President Tinubu had earlier announced an end to the state of emergency, clearing the way for Governor Fubara's reinstatement and the full restoration of democratic institutions in the oil-rich state. Now, with the handover complete, Governor Fubara resumed leadership as Rivers began a new chapter after months of political turbulence. At the farewell ceremony in Port Harcourt, Ibas declared that law and order had been restored after 6 months of emergency rule, urging Rivers people to support Governor Fubara and the spirit of unity and dialogue. Still in Rivers, the Rivers State House of Assembly has asked Governor Similaye Fubara to immediately forward a list of commissioner nominees for screening and confirmation. Addressing this, the Speaker stressed the urgency of filling vacant commissioner positions to ensure effective governance across the ministries. Lawmakers further underscored the need for a functional budget, warning that without an appropriation law, state projects and services could stall. The resolution comes just days before Governor Fubara's reinstatement to office. Now, following the expiration of emergency rule imposed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in March, political watchers said the directive will test the governor's ability to mend ties with the assembly amid lingering tension in the state. With river politics entering a fresh phase, all eyes are now on Governor Fubara as he resumes power and faces new demand from his lawmakers. The lawmakers also directed the governor to begin work on an appropriation bill for the remaining part of the year. Both resolutions were passed Thursday during the Assembly's first plenary since the end of a 6-month emergency rule. Well, we'll go on a break now, but when we come back, more news across Niger as well as foreign business and sport. Join us again.
Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love. It is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make you a man, but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
My name is Des Soka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh baby.
CME Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, not just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow, I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company has announced the appointment of Mariamu Idris, Managing Director of NNPC Trading Limited, as Nigeria's national representative to the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. The NNPC highlighted Idris' extensive track record in the energy sector. She previously led pricing and valuation in the company's crude oil marketing division and served as technical advisor to Nigeria's OPEC delegation. Her career also includes key roles in Nigerian Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, as well as contributions to oil sector reforms under the Bureau of Public Enterprise and the Oil and Gas Implementation Committee. A graduate of the University of Abuja and the University of Dindei, Idris is expected to work closely with Nigeria's OPEC governor, the Minister of Petroleum Resources, and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to safeguard Nigerians' energy interests. The NNPC congratulated her on her appointment and expressed confidence in her ability to represent the country effectively on the global stage. Mariamu Idris' appointment comes at a critical time for Nigeria as the country seeks to balance domestic energy priorities with its commitment within OPEC. Idris, who will retain her role as NNPC Trading, will serve as the country's principal technical liaison within OPEC and has also taken up a seat on the Organization Economic Commission Board, where she will be contributing to the critical policy advice and technical deliberations. Away from that, the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers is set to host its flagship 2025 annual conference in Abuja, where digital innovation, ethical governance, and sustainability are the heart of discussions. Slated for October 16 and 17 at the Los Angeles Event Center, the conference will feature keynote speeches, preliminary sections, technical panels, and a career fair for students. Key topics include fintech, blockchain, artificial intelligence, ESG investing, investors protection, and financial inclusion. Committee Chairman Sahid Bashiru said that the meeting comes as Nigerian targets a $1 billion or trillion economy, stressing that the capital market must lead the transformation. The CSI Vice President Fiona Ahime highlighted succession and sustainability and youth engagement as central pillars, noting that many young Nigerians fail to prey, or rather fall prey to Ponzi scheme due to lack of financial intelligence. She said the institution is committed to empowering the next generation with credible pathways in finance and wealth creation. Widely regarded as Nigerian premier capital market gathering, the CIS conference promises unmatched opportunities for learning, innovation, and collaboration. The two-day event, themed Capital Market and Digital, Ethical, and Sustainable Era, Charting Pathway for Economic Transformation, will bring together government leaders, regulators, investors, and the international experts to explore more Nigeria's capital market can drive long-term economic growth. Away from that, now to the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump says Russia leader Vladimir Putin has really let him down for refusing to end the war in Ukraine, despite what he described as their once close relationship. Trump met Prime Minister Starmer, the Czech country resident, after Wednesday's royal pageantry at Windsor Castle. Starmer has pinched himself as a bridge between Trump and Europe, pressing for more commitment for Kyiv while also securing a landmark UK-US tech trade deal. The two leaders signed an agreement covering artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and nuclear energy, with more than 150 billion euros of American investment pledged by firms such as Microsoft and Google, but differences remain. Trump confirmed one of our few disagreements was over British plan to recognize a Palestine state, while he also suggested that the UK could deploy the military to tackle illegal migration. Earlier, Trump hailed the unbreakable bond between the US and UK, praised King Charles as a great gentleman and a great king, and told Winston Churchill's artifacts are the checkers. With Trump's sharpening his stance on Putin and doubling down on trade and migration, his visit ends with a pledge of closer UK-US ties, but lingering questions about how far he will go to pressure Moscow. Speaking at a joint press conference with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Thursday, the final day of his state visit, Trump admitted he believed Ukraine could be the easiest conflict to resolve. The US leader also urged European nations to stop buying Russian oil, insisting lower prices could force Moscow to abandon the war. Now, talking sport, Jose Mourinho is back in Portuguese football after 21 years. Benfica confirmed his appointment as head coach on Thursday, handing the 62-year-old a contract running until 2026-2027 section. Mourinho return marks a homecoming. He first managed Benfica in 2000 before resigning after just 11 games. From there, he rose to fame at Porto, winning back-to-back league titles and in 2004 Champions League crown. The success landed a career across Europe elite clubs: Chelsea, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Tottenham, Roma, and most recently Fenerbahce. Benfica fans hope the special one can restore glory after years of frustration in Europe and guide them deep into the season's Champions League. Mourinho takes charge immediately with his first major test set for September 30th against former side Chelsea in the Champions League. The two-time European champions sack Bruno Lage after their shock Champions League defeat. Mourinho also left Fenerbahce in August, now faces immediate reunion with Chelsea and Porto in the coming weeks. And still talking sport, Manchester City striker Erling Haaland has set a new Champions League record, becoming the fastest player ever to score 50 goals in a competition. The record-breaking goal came in City's clash against Napoli at the Etihad, where Haaland opened the scoring to etch his name further into football history. The striker pulled his level with Arsenal icon Thierry Henry on the all-time UCL scorers chart, sitting ninth overall. For many pundits, Haaland features underlined his status as the most prolific centre-forward of his generation, with expectation that he could soon chase down Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo's long-standing European tallies. For Erling Haaland, it's another milestone reached and perhaps just the beginning of an era of dominance in European football. The Norwegian reached the milestone in just 49 appearances, breaking the previous record of 62 games held by Dutch legend Ruud van Nistelrooy. At 26 years and 22 days, Haaland is also the second highest to hit the landmark behind PSG Kylian Mbappe. Well, anyway, with that sporting news, we'll come to the end of the news. We'll always implore you to go drop more as it concerns the news on our different social media platforms, and we'll be happy to have all of it. But anyway, I will still continue. It's Viewpoint. My name is Michael Gobadia. Bye for now.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor AD.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Naija celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different. When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh baby.
CME Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Now, the 2025 Ozone Depletion Celebration Day seemed to have started already, but 4 Nigerian states, namely Borno, Rivers, Abuja, and Lagos, has been identified as worst hit already by radiation from the ozone layer as a result of its depletion, and government have been also urged to enforce existing anti-ozone layer depletion law and support the use of clean technology. Well, this was the position of stakeholders at the commemoration of the 2025 International Ozone Day celebration, which was held early this week, with a theme from science to global awareness. Acting organized by the Ozone, or rather the activity organized by Save the Ozone Nigeria in collaboration with the Federal and State Ministries of Environment and the National Center for Energy. In his opening address, the chairman of the event, Professor Anthony Ugbebu, said Nigeria must sustain its policy on the ozone layer because a recent scientific research shows that the ozone depletion and exposure to eternal UV radiation affect more states and places now in Nigeria than ever before. It's also documented that in Borno, Rivers, and Abuja and Lagos, radiation often reaches very high extreme levels in the midday, especially in the day and early raining season. Even a short exposure with UV penetration can be harmful effect, and advocates are more to do, especially as it concerns enlightenment on the UV risks and protective behavior. But the question is, how aware are Nigerians to the causes of the ozone depletion and also the resultant risks of UV radiation? And are we in every way entering a phase where these will become more of a contending problem, knowing that some states are already affected? Well, a look at the commemoration of the World Ozone Day is what this edition of Dialogue is all about. And we're talking about the 2025 International Ozone Layer Day celebration that was held just recently. And that's what we're having as a major one today on the show. We're talking about the celebration of the 2025 Ozone International Day Layer celebration. And that's what we're having as a major discourse today on the show. And to truly help us talk about this is a fellow of the Nigerian Environmental Society.
Member, sir?
Yes, rather a member of the Nigerian Environmental Society, and also our lovely guest as it concerns issue that concerns the environment and also the well-being of the environment itself. And we're talking of no other person but Mr. Felix Unumade. Mr. Felix, nice having you on the show. Welcome to it.
Thank you for having me. And first of all, I have to thank Atlantic TV for sustaining the advocacy.
Well, thank you.
You know, for us, always giving us platform to educate and enlighten citizens on the importance of good environmental behaviors and all issues pertaining environment. So I have to first of all appreciate the management of Atlantic. They are doing a great job.
Well, thank you so much. And in that era of appreciation, we also want to say that what we enjoy doing here is that advocacy push, especially as it concerns clean, renewable energy, and also a push for better environment for us and the generation to follow. But anyway, as much as we're talking about today, like we said earlier, just on Monday, the 2025 International Ozone Layer Day was celebrated, and is every emphasis on the issue of technology and how we can indeed improve the environment. But let's quickly come back to it. Now, yes, we know some states, as being stated in that very report that Dialogue put together. We're talking about states like Lagos, Rivers, Abuja, and funny enough, Borno in the north are highly hit by this depletion of the ozone layer. Now, many will say they rarely hear anything about the ozone layer, which is in every way correct. This was something that was well talked about in the early 80s and 90s. But in the recent 2000s, many persons seem to have jettisoned that, or many will have feel, well, it's not the most pressing problem. But funny enough, it's now coming back to haunt us, especially looking at that very report. But my question is, should we really be truly concerned about the depletion of the ozone layer as it stands now? Is it a serious problem or a serious contending problem to Nigerians, or should we just put it at the side and deal with other contending problems like flood and erosion and all of that? What's your view on this?
The ozone layer depletion have to be a national discourse at this point.
Okay.
Because like the flood you reference to, it also contributes to flood, but we wouldn't go that part. Now, let's first of all establish the ozone layer itself. What is ozone layer? Ozone layer are ozone molecules that are found in the stratosphere of the atmosphere. Now, the atmosphere have about 4 layers. You have the troposphere, you have the stratosphere, you have the mesosphere, and the ionosphere. You understand? So when you look at these, each of the sphere, or each of the layers, you call them, have their own job. They have their own contribution, and they have their own stabilization as it concerns the Earth. So when we talk about the ozone layer depletion on this manner, it means the reduction in ozone layer as it concerns stratosphere. And when you want to look at the depletion, you say, depletion is something that is reduced and not commemorate with the production pattern. Don't also forget that the nature has its own way of reducing the ozone on its own. But what is actually happening now is the anthropogenic activities, that is human activities, contributing major factor to ozone layer depletion. And when we want to look at the ozone layer depletion, you look at it in 2 parts. One, you have the hole in the pole, the polar holes. Then the other one, you have the thinning, that is reducing the ozone layer tiny in itself. You understand? So when you are looking at this part, you see that Nigeria and those states that were measured, you might ask yourself, why is it affecting these states?
Yes.
You understand? But before we talk about why it's affecting these states, because we'll get to that when we look at the causes of ozone layer depletion. I will dwell more on this ozone layer so that the citizen will understand what it means. Oftentimes, they think climate change, ozone layer, they are jargons. That those are Western collaborators or Western languages coined to deceive us.
Or scare us.
Or to scare us.
Yes.
But the truth is that it is real. Ozone layer depletion is actually real. And Nigeria is also contributing to ozone layer depletion by the way of our activities. Okay. You understand? When we get to the causes, I will now tell you why those cities are mainly affected.
Okay, now it looks as if you just even let the cat out of the bag now, because that's where I was really wanting to go. Now you talked about us being a major contributor.
Yes.
Now everybody will say if there was this follow-up of the effective policy of the Montreal Protocol of 1987 that was signed to deal with the issue of the ozone depletion, will not be where we are now. So, but let's leave that declaration. The Montreal Protocol of 1987,
okay.
yes, which mandated countries to do the needful to deal with the issue of the depletion of the ozone layer. But let's now really come back to what you said earlier, the causes. Because if you do not discover, you can never recover.
Yes.
So let's understand what is causing the depletion of the ozone.
Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, the causes are anthropogenic activities, that is human activities.
Yes, let's understand those human activities.
Okay, those human activities, the emission of some agents that act with the ozone. Don't forget, ozone, they are chemical composition on their own.
Yes.
So what they do is that even this ultraviolet ray, the UV, it acts with the ozone to break down those ozone that are molecules. Okay. Then when the UV rays radiation acts on the ozone, it breaks into atoms.
Okay.
You understand? These atoms, they also act with oxygen, nitrogen, and other substances to form other elements. Okay. You understand? So, but when these emissions, or like for example the gas flaring now, when you flare a gas, what it does is that these as we call them ODS or ODP. When we talk about ODP, we talk about ozone layer depletion potentials. Then when you talk about ODS, we talk about ozone layer depletion substances.
Okay.
You understand? So these substances, they can as well as stay in the air from 75 years to 100 years. They are there. So they are ODS potentials because they have not actually acted, but they are potentials to deplete the ozone layer. So they stay there. They stay there. They interact with the atmosphere and all that. You understand? Now, when you flare gas, when you carry out open burning, forest deforestation, that is deforestation. You cut down trees, forest areas without replanting. Those, they emit these substances that causes ozone layer depletion.
Okay.
So the causes are enormous. Like the urban area now, we look at the transportation.
Okay.
The transportation system. When everybody is using vehicle at a time, you see this emission that the carbon monoxide.
We call them green gas.
Green gas emissions, they become very high. In fact, the green gas is we come to that. It is actually different.
Okay.
Because what green gas does, green gas are those gases that act as a shade.
Okay.
You understand? To the ozone layer itself.
But can that be gotten through the release of fossil fuel carbons?
Yes.
Okay.
When we talk about fossil fuel, like I mentioned gas flaring.
Okay.
When you are flaring gas, it's fossil fuel.
So even normal emission from our exhaust from the car.
Exhaust, yes. When they are much.
Yes.
When you release this, like I give you example, you have so many cars at the same time.
Yes.
They are releasing these carbons from the cars. They act, like I told you, they act with the atmosphere. They go there, they pass the troposphere, which is the first stage.
Layer.
Don't forget that the troposphere we are talking about, the first layer we are talking about, what it contains is just about 71% of nitrogen. You have 21% of oxygen. Then you now have other gases combined together. That is what troposphere contains. But it is when you move further out of the troposphere that you now get to where the stratosphere, where you have the ozone itself. You understand? So these gases, they have that potential of, they have this longevity of staying long, and they have
penetrative power.
They have that potential of penetrating the troposphere to stay. In fact, even not interacting immediately with the stratosphere, but they stay. They have that, like I told you, they can be suspended for about 75 years to 100 years. Wow. You understand? And don't forget that the stratosphere we are talking about have about 35 kilometers from the surface of the earth to that place. But these agents, let me call them chemicals, we relatively know them. They travel up there and they have the ability of suspending themselves for that long.
Okay, now still talking about what causes it, and I'm happy you talked about what seems to be the major driver in our urban setting. Now let's look at the issue of gases that has been used in refrigerators, because they also say that's a major contributor. And not only that one, that of even air conditioning. We have them in almost all our offices. Now, is that also a potential problem in the depletion of our ozone?
Yes. In fact, when you look at the actual chemical, because now we want to look at the composition now. The actual chemicals that causes the ozone layer depletion, they are grouped as chlorofluorocarbon, that is CFC. Okay. So, and this CFC, you actually get them from some elements put together to produce refrigerator. They act as coolant. Okay. They are kind of coolant. Okay. So they use it in refrigerator. They use it in ACs. Even all this solvent that we are using, these aerosols, we are saying they also use them to produce it. So the major chemical, if you want to call it chemical, the major chemical or the major compound that actually deplete the ozone layer is that chlorofluorocarbon.
CHC for short.
Yes, CFC for short.
CFC for short.
Yes, CFC for short.
Okay, now I'm also a bit curious. Like, as much as you've mentioned this, I could still remember in July the Lagos State government banned styrofoam in packaging of food.
For years.
And there's every belief that that also has a linkage to the release of chemicals, because it hardly degrade, and even if it does, it releases some chemical. Can that also be a contributor to the ozone layer depletion?
In fact,
styrofoams.
You even reminded me of foam. Even this foam production, like the Vital. Sorry, let me not mention these foams you are using to sleep. There are some agents that are used in producing those foams that contain these chemicals we are talking about. These chemicals, they are extractors. Okay. So I don't want to go into deep chemical chemistry in this in this discussion, so that it will be very simpler for our audience. Yes. So there are so many.
But
so many
is the styrofoam that usually used in packing food in parties and the rest, is that also a major contributor?
Those styrofoam you are saying. In fact, that is when we now go to the aspect of waste management on its own. Okay. Those styrofoam, they contain some agents like this PCB. Okay. They contain PCB that have their own element that also act. So they are also part of it. Not really a main contributor, but they contribute. Okay. They contribute their own quota to it.
Okay. Now, as much in our course of our discussion, it's only right to also state this, and because many will say yes, the ozone layer, we know all of this is also being depleted by these causes. But let's look at the risks, because that's where we are now. Judging with the very release of that very report indicating that 4 states are highly hit, especially during the midday, which is about 12 to 2, and also during when rain wants to start heavily in most of these 4 states that we earlier mentioned. Now, let's look at the risk factor of ozone layer depletion. What effect does it have on us humans? Let's understand that.
Okay. When we talk about human, you cannot talk about human existence without talking about the environment, talking about the health and socio-economic part. So I'm going to group them into these 3 as we discussed. So let us look at human, like you said, the health impact of it. This ozone layer depletion, when that ozone is depleted, either there is a hole, like I told you, the polar hole in the ozone, or the reduction of the density of the ozone. That is, let me not use big English, the size of the ozone. Maybe if the ozone was having this weight and it is now reduced to this weight, so it will also reduce the potentity of the ozone. So what are the effects? It allows the penetration of the UV radiation straight. Don't also forget that the UV radiation is classified into 3. You have the A, you have the B, and you have the C. The one that causes major harm are the B and the C. So when you allow that, especially the B, to penetrate into the soil, they also causes this melanoma, kind of a cancer. They causes skin cancer
to humans.
To human, yes, they causes skin cancer to human. Like some people, especially our young women, when they tell you that I have a sunburn, what do you think that is causing the sunburn? Is the excess of the radiation, the penetration, because there is no ozone. Don't also forget that ozone is supposed to be like a coolant to reduce. It's supposed to reduce that impact of the UV radiation. But now, when the ozone does not have that potentiality again, does not have that power again, then it gives way for that sun. And when it touches, it causes even aging. Yes, it causes aging. It causes a skin cancer, like I said, even an eye problem, cataract. This eye is programmed with a kind of array, an infrared refraction. So the more concentration of light, the more brighter the place is. If you reduce the light, you see that the eye will adjust to that, to what is just that, to accommodate what is at that particular time. So that is the same way it exposes the eye to cataract. It causes cataract and other eye diseases like eye itching and other diseases. That is for the health part. So there are so many other health part, but I'll just look at this one. Then let's look at the environmental part.
Okay.
Now, what does it do? When you know, some people will tell you, jokingly, they will tell you that after all, the trees, they need sun because of the photosynthesis. That is not correct. The type of sun that the trees, they need for their photosynthesis is not the one that from that UVA radiation B, you can call it UVA B, that comes to them. That reduces the productivity of that tree, even it stunts the growth of the tree. That is why when you go to some region, why do you have desert? When you go to some regions that you see that they are exposed to sun, you see that most of the trees that are they have stunted growth. Yes, because the sun is so hard on them that even that photosynthesis process is stopped. Then we look at the soil fertility, for example. The effect of ozone layer depletion can also affect soil fertility. You know, the ability of the soil to produce, to have its manure, like we all call it manures, but there are organisms that are helped in production in the soil. And when you also want to talk about that, you look at the aquatic life. There are some I'm looking for some aquatic life, like some
fishes,
not actually fishes. I'm talking about the trees, the shrubs, the plants. Sorry, let me use the word plant now. There are some plants that they cannot actually survive that UVA, even when they are close to the seashore. You understand? So they die off. So it altered the ecosystem balance and even the food chain. It altered the food chain. I'm trying to get the actual plant. In fact, it's the #1 in food chain. When you want to talk about food chain. So when it affected that, it also affected food chain and even food production. Then you mentioned the fishes. When the water is overheated, for example, you see that it becomes warmer or hot. Then it makes some of those fishes to die, whereby reducing the protein of this. You know, fish is made up source of human protein. So it reduces that sources of human protein. Then when we leave that, we now want to look at the socioeconomic part of it. What are the socioeconomic part of it? Like we said, when the soil fertility is reduced, agricultural produce is reduced. Now it causes food insecurity. And you know, these are socioeconomic concerns. It causes, then it also gives, like I told you, it causes skin cancer, cataract and all that. It also gives pressure on the health facilities that we have already, because you now have many people coming with the issue of skin cancer, cataract and other illnesses. So it now gives pressure on the health facility. Then it also, when you look at the economic part, it will now make government to spend more money on subsidizing those drugs and treatments for citizens, for patients. And it also can cause even should I call it war or crisis? Because when some parts are overheated, they can't stay there. They look for another settlement. And when you are migrating, don't forget that people are already living there. So that will now cause a clash.
But it's not the reason we're having headsmen in the south.
No.
Okay.
Though I can, in fact, I stand to be corrected, but I can attribute it to it. Because like I give you an example, when you look at some parts of the north, you see that these plants, they don't have them to even feed the cow. Though the practice, this nomadic system of lifestyle is bad. You understand? That is bad. But being even if as you or anyhow you are seeing it, that is the practice that their livelihood or they inherited, until government decide to put up branches and or enforce them or enforce the law that okay, for you to rear a cow, have your own ranches. This will continue. So when you look at those areas that are desert, there are no plants for the cow to feed. You see them, they move to the south. That is the essence of the movement. Moving to look for more greener or vegetations that those cows can feed on. You understand? So it's also part of it. So is a socioeconomic part. These are part of, or socioeconomic part of ozone depletion.
Okay, now, anyway, as much as you've helped us trace and also emphasize the different effects of the ozone layer depletion, I want us now to come to the issue of sensitization. That's what we always enjoy doing here, bringing such issues as it concerns the environment to the public domain for everybody to know. But my question, do you feel government at all levels, we're talking about both the federal, state, and local, are doing enough in sensitizing Nigerians on the need to do more as it concerns the ozone layer depletion? Do even young Nigerians, I'm talking, do even you or your organization or other organizations even visit schools? Does government even visit schools to really inform them about a need to also protect the generation, knowing that there's every possibility that this might be one of the major problems in the next generation, the issue of ozone layer depletion? So let's look at that. Is there enough sensitization coming from different governments of all tiers?
Okay, when you talk about sensitization, you know, the government part, they're actually not supposed to be the one in the forefront or driving sensitization. That is why you have association like ours. I belong to so many professional associations. For example, I'm a fellow of the Emergency Crisis Risk Management Institute, which also is in the forefront of advocacy for the environmental protection. Then I'm also a member of the Nigerian Environmental Society, like you introduced me. We're also in the forefront. In fact, Nigerian Environmental Society is described by the federal government as a watchdog, environmental watchdog of Nigeria. Then I'm also a member of IAN, that is Association of Environmental Impact Assessment of Nigeria. In that association, we believe that you can curb environmental menace through a proper and well-articulated environmental impact assessment of every developmental project. So we bring impact assessment to being as a form of we pushing for impact assessment and advocacy for Nigeria. And also, I'm a member of the World Safety Organization. I'm a member of ISPON. So I belong to so many professional bodies. And
so should we hold your organization rather in charge? Should we hold you guys for not doing enough sensitization?
No. Why I'm giving you all this breakdown, why I'm telling you about these organizations is because as an organization we are doing our own best. We are doing our own quota, and that is why I'm here today to say this is what is actually real. And we also have to thank your organization, once again, for always opening your doors for sensitization and advocacy. And so I think instead of putting it to this side of government, if other media like yours can do this all the time, don't you think there will be more sensitization? So that is where it comes from. On the government aspect, government, they have, I remember there is a effluent discharge regulation of 1991. Then it was FEPA, Federal Environmental Protection Agency. Now it's the Federal Ministry of Environment that are trying to, in the way of regulating ozone layer. Don't also forget that I linked waste management issues to the issue of ozone layer depletion. Because why I link it, if you import, we Africans, we are now the hubs of used materials from the West. If, for example, you import ACs from the West, do you know whether that AC have this CFC or that it was rejected and banned in that country before you now bring it? So what government should be doing is more of regulating the import system. When you are importing, they should be able to certify it, whether it has this greenhouse gases in it, whether it has CFC on it. So this is what they are supposed to look at. Then, I will not exempt government totally because they have an arm of advocacy, which is the National Orientation Agency. Now, what National Orientation Agency is supposed to do is to liaise with professional bodies like ours and said, okay, let's be making a jingle. We can produce a sound. The professionals will produce a sound, produce a message. Why you jingle
and complete on Atlantic TV and raise funds for us also. Yes.
So
we are there to make money.
You understand. So that is a part of government. So Now, I've identified two key issues or two key elements that government is supposed to play. One, they're supposed to regulate enforcement, especially when it comes to importing used products, to check whether this CFC is not there, and then this greenhouse gases, they are not also on it. So when they have done that, they should also move, or include them. They should not even move. They should include the National Orientation Agency, collaborating with the professional organizations, creating jingles, and they're playing it in media houses and not to sensitize citizens. And like you also said, we have a program in NES, Catching Them Young. We have a FMO Kole competition whereby we go to secondary schools to sensitize them about the environment. So I've been a moderator of that quiz for so many years now. So we go to schools. First of all, we teach them, we bring environmental issues, we teach them, then we give them quiz. So on environment. So when you are done with that, you now come to the stage where we also do enlightenment for them. So
okay, now because of time, I want us now to also talk about something that's also a major. You made mention of greenhouse gases coming from fossil fuel.
Yes.
But you agree with me that Nigeria totally relies on fossil fuel, not just to power their engines, but also a major contributor to revenue in the country. We know many countries are now going to clean energy, and in every way it's most likely going to affect our revenue in the future. But anyway, we are still here enjoying the money. Let's now return back to it. Now, do you see us at the receiving end if, and I'm saying if, most fossil fuel are being now put aside on account of greenhouse gases emission and also the depletion of the ozone layer? How really critical or how much of an impact will this have on us?
Okay, let me, when you look at, let me start this way. When you look at other countries that also produces like what we call crude oil, they are also trying to diversify, you understand? Well, for example, when you look at US, for example, US has more reserve barrels of oil than Nigeria.
Most certainly.
You understand? But US, they go into other sources of renewable energies. So Nigeria can also do that. Don't forget that initially Nigeria thought that if they don't mine coal, that the economy will crumble. But at the end of the day, they shifted from the same coal. You understand? That does not mean that the coal have lapses, that there are no more coals in Enugu, as we call them the city of coal. There are still coal in Enugu, but they left it. You understand? Don't also forget that Nigeria can decide to also leave the oil on the ground, leave the issue of fossil fuel, concentrate on renewable energy, and even export. Nigeria is so blessed. Nigeria can go face agriculture. Nigeria can face agriculture and even make more money from agri than the oil we're making. Nigeria can also, we have a bulk of, let me say, we have human resources. So if Nigerians develop their human resources, and when you train and they go abroad to work, they become source of revenue for Nigeria. But the challenge that Nigeria have now is that when they train, because of the system, so many people, they call it this jackpa. They jackpa, they go out, they work there without even remitting, because it's not even well documented that this person has already left after training also. So if Nigeria can put all these things in place, it will reduce that pressure. Or when we think that it is the oil money that we must survive it on. No, we have other means of survival. Even this renewable energy, if you push this renewable energy to Nigerians, and they can even export it, they can produce, for example, the solar panels and all that. They can, Nigeria, they are good industrialists. Yes, so you understand, they are not to invent things. So they can do all this and still export, and Nigeria will make more money than what we are doing. So abandoning the fossil fuel at this point, I don't think is really going to affect Nigeria holistically if it is properly planned. Don't forget the action word is planning. If it is properly planned and regulated, then we can do away with it.
And we're not doing away with our discussion, but rather need to really go away because of time. And I will thank no other person but an environmentalist, and I'm talking of no other person but Mr. Felix Unumadu. For coming through and helping us to really understand the ozone layer. On the mining, you say more needs to be done as a concerns sensitization to Nigerians to understand the need to have more, especially as concerns the ozone layer, so we do not go through some of the effects and that he has talked about. We're talking about the risk effect to individuals, but we're talking about the risk effect to the environment itself, and also the socio-economic risk effect of the depletion of the ozone layer. All of that he looked at and more. But we implore you to also remember to drop your comments and share, and also react to some of the topics we've had continuously on dialogue. We're more than happy to have all of that so we can also address them. But the best thing, or the way to address the issue now, is to thank you so much. And I'm talking of Mr. Felix Numadu, a member of the Nigerian Environmental Society Delta State Chapter.
Yes.
Thank you so much for honoring our invitation once again, our invitation for coming and talking about the environment. And I just wish you guys more celebration on the mining. We had the 2025 International Day of the celebration of the ozone layer just on some days back. We're talking about Wednesday to Wednesday. Yes, thank you so much for spending your time with us. Really appreciate your time with us.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Well, anyway, it's more like a wrap today on our dialogue. Like we employed you, just go get more country, or rather drop your comments and let's hear your views as it concerns our discussion today. What better way to protect the ozone layer, and what causative that needs to be put aside so we do not deplete it more. But anyway, all of that is what we'd love to get on your comment. But for me, Michael Gobaya, God willing, we'll see you later. But you do know, not off on Viewpoint, trending is still coming. It's a beautiful cook. Well, it looks as if Messi is really mixing up everything, and she will come to trend on this very one later. Let's go on a break.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh, baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife, Ninja Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere or I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love. It is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make you a man, but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV. Behind closed doors, too many suffer in silence. Too many lives are scarred by violence in the very place that should bring peace, the home. Domestic violence is not love. It is pain. It breaks trust, destroys lives and families, and steals futures. Domestic violence is not a private matter. It's a violation of dignity, and it must end. Because hitting a woman does not make you a man, but correcting her in love and staying in peace with her is God's plan. Together, we can raise our voices, protect the vulnerable, and rebuild lives. Say no to silence. Say no to fear. Say no to domestic violence. Powered by Atlantic Media and TV.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different. When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, it's Trending O'Clock and it's Friday edition of Trending. Thank God it's Friday. You know how we do it right here on Trending. We'll talk about all the trending issues on the internet and of course, give our opinions about them. I am Mercy Erabo and you know I am never alone in the studio. I have with me Michael Gobadia and together we'll be sharing our opinions on all the trending issues today. Well, what's trending? So the National Agency for Food, Drugs Administration and Control came out yesterday to tell us about falsified medicines currently in circulation in the country. And those drugs are artemetrin DS used for malaria treatment and Ciprofit 500, a common antibiotic. According to NAFDAC, these medicines may look genuine and could even be found in licensed outlets, but they pose serious health risks. So if NAFDAC is saying that we can actually get this in a licensed outlets, what does it really say about our system? It tells a lot about our failing system. Mr. Michael, what's your take?
Well, it's really surprising that the agency that is saddled with the responsibility of alerting Nigerians. On the mind, they are alerting Nigerians, but they also have that genuine responsibility of checkmating the spread of these unwholesome drugs. Yeah. That they are now coming out to say it's, well, in major distribution outlets. It's surprising how they got there in the first place. The first and most effective way of dealing with problem is not making it even come up at all. And making it now go into these different superstores with when Nigerians have that belief and confidence that they are genuine drugs. It's a sad one that NAFDAC is now telling us this when they would have done their oversight and ensure that they do not get to this outlet before coming out to tell us they are already there. It doesn't add up. I'm not really happy with that one trust coming from NAFDAC.
And you know the worrisome part is this country we have more of people suffering from malarial and bacterial infection. So when it comes to anti-malaria and antibiotic, these are drugs that are commonly used. So it means so many persons must have fall victim to this whole fake drugs on circulation.
Mercy, let's really trace all of this. You are very, very right. Yeah. It's one of the most prevalent illness in Nigeria. We're talking about malaria, and you will not surprise we're having a whole lot of rainfall, and you know how stored waters always bring that. But apart from that also, if you notice, in recent time, there have been increase of kidney failures. I can even still remember just recently the Delta State government purchased some dialysis machine on account of this. So it's all about fake drugs that are being used that destroy these kidneys and livers. And no surprise, we're having high cases of kidney failure in Nigeria. NAFDAC needs to do more as it concerns distribution of these fake drugs. We could still remember when it was a time, with all due respect, I'm not casting aspersion on anyone, but let's take our mind way back during the Obasanjo era when we had Dora, late Dora Akunyele as the head of NAFDAC. You rarely see all of these. It's always things are being done in the needed time and not letting it escalate, now coming out to cry foul.
Well, this is really, really sad. I think NAFDAC really needs to do better. They really need to do better with this their unit.
Yeah, they need to
so yes, what you need to know, always check your medicines carefully and make sure you buy from trusted pharmacies. And if you suspect a fake drug, report immediately to NAFDAC. Well, away from the NAFDAC issue, so yesterday taking my usual stroll on the internet and I saw this, should I call it shocking video? Maybe it's not shocking, but shocking to me. The street pop star Portable coming out to say that he will only endorse anybody that would give him money in the coming election, coming 2027 election, be it Peter Obi or Tinubu. This was the same thing I discussed yesterday on Trending. I said, when people get unmerited fame, they feel they are fortunate, they feel they are wise, they feel they could just come out and start spilling whatever they have in their mouth. Well, without saying too much, let's see the footage.
I don't say we no go run down. Now we dey run time in Mr. Nigeria. And if I see me, say you don't get your photos card, talo di bofu. Olo la ma di bofu, and bad bole la ma di bofu. Anybody waking money, I go follow. Anybody with fear for life. And if I see me, tell you any mo say go. I go at talent do ba wi. If you can do ba too load matter la way. Election ni gba.
Okay, just look at this. Someone that was supposed to be a public figure coming out now to tell you that you should vote for anybody that gives you money, even while we're advising Nigerians that even if they give you money, that money will only last for a while. And you have the next 4 years to suffer. Mr. Michael, what's your take?
Well, anyway, we're not trying to sound personal in any attack on Portable, but, you know, his recent, I'll call it outburst because it's really annoying. It's not needed at this time. And just like you said, he seems to be a public figure and should know best, not such unnecessary utterances and ranting that he did. So it's quite uncalled for. And I'll just employ the needed authority, especially the EFCC and others, to go after him, especially as it concerns looking at people to give him money before he goes to vote. It's quite annoying and it's not the best. But it also goes to show our value system. You know, when you have people like this, many persons are following him. I will still remember there was one occasion, with all due respect, a very soon after invited him to be one of the artists that performed. And immediately after that, the association was called to order, knowing that, well, his credibility is something to talk about. I'm not being personal, but, you know, more needs to be done, especially as it concerns these cool so-called celebs and how they should rather be positive light in the life of young persons rather than showing such negative.
Portable's manager. And that's one thing I've been asking myself because he's always finding a way to be on the headlines, but he doesn't trend on the right path. So I don't know, he needs a whole lot of managing. I feel his managing team should do better. And if he even has a PRO, should come out and do, even if it's damage control or whatever it is, just come out and talk and tell us to just ignore what he said on that part of the. But you know, the truth is, the DSS, I'm not trying to drag anyone. I know this whole issue, I'm not supposed to because it's still in court. But the DSS, I feel this is where they ought to bring this issue up because this person is causing damage to the voters and all of that. They are not
and the credibility of our elections anyway.
Exactly.
It's even damaging the credibility of our elections.
Telling us how transactional politics is in the country. So if he's saying it's anybody that gives me money, so it's obvious they've been giving him money and whoever he's been endorsing have been giving him money. So it just shows that our politics in Nigeria is very transactional. Well, let's just leave a Portable aside for the
let him
meantime.
trend on another issue.
Exactly, let's leave him for the meantime. So it got to our notice that some policemen attached to the Special Anti-Cult Unit, the SACU, arrested 2 teenage boys aged 16 and 17. These boys were only spending the holiday in their uncle's house. And the most shocking aspect is the SACU went to his uncle's house, or their uncle's house, late at night at 9 p.m. while they were sleeping. They arrested them, they assaulted them, and allegedly they extorted them off 200,000 naira. Well, let's not say too much. Let's see the footage.
They sleep. That's the sleep. So around 8:25 p.m. in the night, just the hear sound of knock. They knock for our door. So I want check the best way they did door. They bust the door. Come inside our house. As they come inside our house, they got the ask me whether I'm here with you. Tell us at 17. So my brother did 16 years. I did 17 years. They asked me whether I come here because I tell us here and my uncle was I just come here for the business. So okay. When my uncle, I tell my uncle, they come carry me. Say when we reach say finish, they say me will write statement. They tell me say na 1 million they will pay me and my brother.
So how much they got to bill now? So
after everything we price and na 200 later pay bill us.
200,000.
200,000.
Good. You are 16 years old. Yes. You can imagine SACU, I carry on now.
It's really, really annoying. And then we've been seeing stories about the same SACU. I think it's high time that the Delta State Command try to intervene in this whole issue of SACU. If you suspect somebody is a court member, I feel you should follow due process instead of just trying to extort money from them. Follow the usual process. Mr. Michael, what should you say?
Well, anyway, I do know the Commissioner of Police in Delta State, Abanuwada, has really said no tolerance to unnecessary extortion. And while he's always giving his insight, especially as it concerns disciplinary action against erring officers. And I know if this comes to his table, he will definitely take or weigh the big stick as it concerns those officials of SACU. Well, this is also an opportunity for us to highlight some of their ills and plead with the needed authorities to see how they can really call them in order. Investigation does not mean you should in every way extort poor and liable, or rather Nigerians that seems to be already at the receiving end. And more needs to be done by the Nigerian police force, especially Delta State Command, to address this issue and put a halt to these unnecessary extortions.
Yeah, please, we're calling on the Delta State Command to please investigate this unit, this SACU unit. We really want to see that these people are investigated, and if found guilty, are brought to face justice. Well, away from that, Mr. Michael, you know, to this Friday, was Friday without some gossip? All right, so let's do some celebrity gossip today. And then actress Nkechi Blessing. She always knows how to trend, and she's trending again. This time around, she said she has never dated any man that is richer than her. And this is coming days after she said that she was literally tired of being single. It seems she was trying to get our attention with that, but we ignored, and she decided to bring this one again. So you're saying you've never dated a man that's richer than you, and we know about your ex-boyfriend, Excessive, and we know he's a Delta State big boy, and you said you're richer than him? Oh, I have a lot to say, but let me reserve my comments. Let's see what netizens feel about Nkechi Blessing. If you have only been able to land men you are richer than in 3 consecutive times, it's probably a sign that that's what you can land. Factoring your age, your looks, and your money, etc. That's what's available to you. Men who are richer than you are more likely to see you for what you and what you represent. And it's probably don't worth it to them. Men also think too, in case you've forgotten, but you go check around, you will find them. His opinion though, and this one is saying, who asked this one about her life? I wonder. All right, let's see more. Okay, women understand the game more than men do. They don't want to date or marry a man they're richer than. Once a man has more money, she won't respect her man. The power dynamics is shifted, hence making them core decisions makers, which they are not. Men never be in that position. Oh, really? So men should not go for richer women. I think we discussed this some time ago. Is she married? Because if not, she should be talking about marriage and not dating. I didn't say so. Cockroach Finance did. Well, I think that's all we have on Nkechi Blessing. Interesting. So like I said, she always wants to trend. She knows how to do it. A few days back, she talked that she was tired of being single. And we knew when she publicly broke up with Excessive, and maybe she's trying to give love a trial, and then some small boys are trying to shoot their shots. I don't know, and that's why she's coming out to say she has never dated any poor guy.
Nkechi Blessing, I'll need to just be frank with you. I feel the reason you're not yet maybe married is the issue of are you richer than the men? Men will only, you know, women always have this thing that they will respect a man that seems to be richer. And you know, remember what the other person brought, and that might just be it. Maybe you are still single because you've not met a richer man. Maybe when you now meet a richer man, you'll be landed and you'll be a woman and a wife as of present. But you know, when you keep having more than the men, you always have that tendency of wanting to control them. And honestly, the men do not like women that totally control them. They like respect and they want to be in charge. But when you are in charge, you do not see their value, and at the end, not having a man that you respect and value always end up in you dating and leaving them. And that's where the problem lies.
But the truth is, does money truly define balance in a relationship? And men, I don't see any reason why a man shouldn't be willing to settle for a woman richer. And the truth is, not all women, not all rich women are controlling. But we don't know her case. Maybe that's why she's... I didn't say so.
But we're not talking whether she's excessive or she left excessive in that attitude. So we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. We only know what she wants us to know. Well, that's that. Away from Nkechi Blessing, over to the world of love and lifestyle. DJ Copy is trending again. This is coming just a few weeks after her sister Temi got married to Mr. Easy. And she's giving her thoughts on marriage. Who would think DJ Copy of all people would be giving advice on marriage? Interesting. So let's see what she has to say. Marriage is the most powerful partnership in life, DJ Copy declares following her sister's Temi Ajibade's wedding to Mr. Easy. I have a lot to say, but okay, she said, call me old school, but I see marriage as the most powerful partnership in life, maybe even the most important contract you will ever sign, with God himself as the witness. Seeing my baby sister Temi become Mrs. Ajibade reminds me that marriage is far from outdated. Oh, maybe she thought it was outdated before now. Well, with the right person, it pulls you closer to purpose and builds love, a family, and legacy. Interesting. I'm glad she's seen this part of life now.
Well, I'm happy for her also seeing this part of life. But for me, I still want to be as old school as she is and say this. You know, there's a way God made all of us.
Yeah.
There's an age you reach, the hormones starts kicking. And that hormones tell you, sorry, it's time. And if you are not respecting that hormones and it's a time for you to settle down, well, definitely you might just be doing yourself a whole lot of damage rather than good. So there comes a time in the life of a woman that she needs to really settle down, have somebody by her side that she can plan with, be secured with, and also begin to have babies, because that's God's plan for all of us. He told us to go forth and multiply. But when you feel there is no need for you to have a one person to multiply with, you might end up being a baby's mama or single, and you know, the weather is not funny.
Yeah, this really got the internet on fire. Netizens had a lot to say. I also have mine to say. Mr. Michael just did, but let me reserve mine. Let's see what netizens are saying. Marriage is the most powerful partnership. A lot of love tethered to all the divorced billionaires paying settlement fees.
Well, she talked about the right person.
Marriage, they hungry this girl, eh? I pray she finds someone who compliments her.
We'll put an end to that.
She's been finding a whole lot of them. But let's see what this one have you seen the union of foolish people before? They play. That's true. That's why you have to marry the right person. Let's say if we have more copy go soon be 40. Wow. I remember when na copy the hot, life comes at you fast.
The hormones.
Interesting. She has been putting out auditioning posts for some period now. Someone should go apply, I beg. Really? Yeah. Okay, so they're saying this as auditions. Okay. I would like to hear it from someone who has experienced it. Okay, I think this one is speaking my mind. Love is beautiful. Yeah, we know love is beautiful. Yes, so I said somebody just spoke my mind. I feel when you want to give advice on something, it should be something that you have experienced. So it's just like Reverend Father coming to advise somebody about marriage. And meanwhile, Reverend Father is not supposed to have any business with marriage. Interesting. Okay, so away from DJ Copy, it's a wrap on Trending. I really had a nice time here on Trending today. I know you did, and Mr. Michael did too.
It has been a trending week. And well, we've had a different discussion, especially on the trending and also on the larger phase, viewpoint, dialogue, and the news. But you know, beautiful things, they always say comes to an end. And we've run the full circle for the week, Monday to Friday. And I feel it's now time we truly need to go. We really need to go. And you know, it's Friday, it's weekend. What will you be doing this weekend? Of course, you know, you can engage with us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, at Atlantic Media and TV. Tell us what you'll be doing with your weekend. Mr. Michael, what will you be doing this weekend? I'll be having a celebration party. Tomorrow is my birthday, so...
Oh, happy birthday to Mr. Michael. Okay, let's do a shout out to Mr. Michael. Happy birthday to you. I don't know how to sing. Happy birthday, Mr. Michael. Oh, thank you. Okay, so all road leads to Mr. Michael's house. Please engage with us on all our social media platforms because I will drop the location there. Party after party. All right, so this is where we have to say, see you same time next week. Once again, I am Mercy Erabo. Have a nice weekend.
And me, I am Michael Gobadia. Do have a blessed weekend, and let's see how I'll do this. Same time, come next week, on Monday to be precise. Bye for now.